Why knowledge matters.
When I was a kid, I grew up, mostly outside. I grew up in nature. I grew up catching snakes and turtles and fish and housing them. But when I was a kid, I didn't know there was any career that corresponded to that. And so when I went to college, I thought I'd be an economist. And so I got to college. I started off with all my, Econ 101, macro and micro. And then I discovered these people in another building, the biology building, and they had nets, they had cages, they had dirty boots. And I didn't know what species they were, but I knew like somehow they were in relation to me. And what I would eventually discover is it was actually at the interface of those two things. Economists think uh, very synthetically about what are the general rules of systems. And ecologists do that too. And so for me, ecology was a way to blend my interest in what I'd call natural history and the workings of individual organisms, their lives, their details, but also with the quest for thinking about, even when we don't know all the details, what general things do we know to be true? And so that was part of my road, and then the road shifted. I started off as a tropical ecologist. I still really like tropical ecology, tropical ecosystems. But when I landed at North Carolina State University, I was in a department full of people who they could make more fish, they could make more wheat, they could fundamentally alter people's lives. And I really had this feeling that what I was doing was quite obscure relative to that uh, daily offering that my colleagues were giving to people. And so eventually that led me to work more and more in the sort of daily lives of humans, to think about, well, what do these things I know from tropical ecosystems have to do with your backyard, with your food, with what's happening in your bedroom? And so I started to bring that into the daily world. And I think my successes where I've had them have been in linking that sort of fundamental big picture understanding of how the living world works with the recognition that even if we're living in an apartment on the 20th floor in New York City, that we're still part of an ecological world.
That's why knowledge matters. Make your life a masterpiece. Visit now programs.d-ykm.com.